on YouTube side.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
As long as this is working now.
Do we sound okay, OJ?
Yeah, it sounds better now.
Sounds better now.
Yeah. Is the stream still up?
No, Nate crashed it. I think to allow it to come back.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what
No
he's
problem.
doing, but we're coming through twice. That would be why there's an echo.
Right now we're coming through both the normal audio and voice mods now. So why are we coming through desktop audio now? That makes no sense. Is there a stream playing somewhere?
The Bucks game, the Bucks highlight.
No. It's us. When we talk to both of them.
Yeah.
Desktop audio. You can hear it twice.
No, I can't hear anything from us.
No,
Oh.
that's fine. Where is desktop audio? What's the source on this? Mess up the source. This source should be that.
Is it? No, it's still coming through. Can we mute the one, or is that going to matter?
If we do that, OJ won't come through.
Oh, fantastic! So we need that.
But I can maybe do. Can I do an audio input and have?
Like I said, is the webcam picking it up
No, this is not.
and coming through the desktop?
It is not the webcam.
Okay, I mean,
I know what you're saying. It's not the webcam. The webcam has nothing to do with it. It is not set to any sort of audio source. Every audio source is our back over there. Every single audio source is there. What is going on? So how come it's doing that? Test. Is it this mic? That mic's muted. The webcam's muted. They're all muted.
just unplug that mic over
Why is
there.
it going through twice?
Unplug that mic over there just to see what happens.
Unplug what mic?
The mic over there, just to see what happens. Just unplug it.
Nothing. Nothing's gonna happen. This is coming through our desktop.
Okay. Yeah.
It's coming as an output, not an input.
Yes, but it may be getting an input from something and then turning around and outputting it to us. This is what I'm saying.
Let me try it if I switch the speakers. Okay, talk.
Talking. Talking.
Now it's on.
Okay.
OJ, can you say something quick?
OJ, can you hear us? Yeah, do you want to just say something quick so we can? Yeah, he's okay. He's not coming through. He's coming through the headphones, but not through.
He's going to the phone?
Yeah, but not through the.
He's coming through headphones. So I think I know what's happening. Voice mod. This output can't be that. This output's going to have to be, say, speakers. That doesn't matter. Talk. No.
Talking, yeah.
And then I need the speakers. It needs to go back to our test. Nope, now that comes through twice. Mine. Why is this being so difficult? So if OJ talks to here, then it doesn't come out here. What if I go to properties here and I change this? That's at the speakers. Is it Discord? Maybe it's Discord messing up. Let me go back to Discord. This is Discord screwing around. Discord does that sometimes. Voice and video. Let's go. Let's set this to. Okay, voice mod. Now let's set this to speakers. Okay.
Okay.
OJ, say something.
Yeah.
Okay, he's back.
Yeah, I can't.
But you can't hear him, I know.
Yeah,
That's okay though. As long as he's back.
I can kind of sort of hear myself, barely.
It's okay. We're going back old school, man.
Okay.
Take off the headphones.
Yep.
We're going old school.
Okay.
Alright. Say something. OJ, I gotta adjust my volume tab.
Can you talk real quick? And we're trying to adjust the volume so we can hear you on without the headphones here.
Talk real quick. You guys are trying to adjust the volume so you can hear me real quick.
There you go.
How about, is that
I think
okay?
we're okay.
I think that's
Yeah.
Talk again, one more time.
One more time, AJ or OJ.
Yeah, one more time.
Good.
I'm
Good,
talking,
good. All right,
testing.
This is as good as it's gonna get. All right, guys. Sorry about that. This is as good as it's gonna get. we had to go back to our old school setup. I know the stream restarted. I'm so sorry about that. This is what happens when this is the first guest on the new set and we're using new equipment and things don't want to cooperate. So we're going to have to do a lot of testing later. It was not supposed to be this difficult. So I apologize, and OJ, I really apologize for you, man.
It's no problem, man. It's just new
I
setup.
don't
It's all
want
good.
you to feel like you wasted your time or anything. As long as
No, it's
everything's
good.
working, you guys all good. Everything sounds good now. Sounds as good as it's gonna get. Like I can't do much about his hat doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Someone doesn't like the 49ers.
Seahawks roll, dude.
Nope, it's good.
Anything
Seahawks
should-
are going to be trash.
Still echoing.
No Russell
A
Wilson.
little
Let's go.
echoing. Okay. Well,
Echoey on my end, or
I think it's my end. Is it better now? Like I don't understand. Our audio output are these microphones, and we're using our old setup now. We're not even using. There's no other mic even connected or plugged in. The camera mic isn't on, guys. The camera mic is not turned on. There isn't even an output for the camera mic. The camera mic is plugged into a wireless receiver that is turned off.
Are we picking each
OJ's
other up in
audio
each
is
other's
better, but
mics?
there's still an echo. Well, you know,
Are we picking each other up in each other's mics?
Whatever. Whatever, guys. We're just there's like other Nate talking with you.
I'm wondering if it's picking up on both mics.
Test now.
How about now? How about now?
That's a good.
Bueller? Bueller?
There's nothing I can do.
Bueller?
Sound like you just got vaccinated. Okay, that's maybe going a little too far there,
You
guys.
can't hear me now?
Well, our mics are low.
Yeah.
I was adjusting.
Okay.
Great. It sounds great. Wait. Did I just hear great? Eric sounds great. It's just my mic.
Weird. Unplug, replug?
Sounds great now. Okay, we're getting the all
Are we
clear.
good? No.
We're getting the all clear.
Alright.
We're hearing that it sounds great now. Okay. God,
Okay.
I don't know what
Sure.
happened. All that happened is I turned it on and off again.
Yep. Welcome to technology.
Didn't even change a setting. IT club. We turned it on and off.
Yeah.
All right. Finally, okay. We weren't that far into the podcast, so let's recycle a little bit here. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. What the hell happened? I have no idea, guys. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Stream rebooted, all this stuff. Good thing the podcast goes up separately on its own podcast channel. If you guys want to check it out, where these difficulties won't pop up. I apologize to all of our viewers and listeners. I do apologize, obviously, to Player Essence as well for being. Well, thank you for being incredibly patient through this. I know you know what it's like to deal with audio and other issues as well at times. I don't know that you gets this crazy. Right before we started, your microphone arm broke.
yeah. I mean, I run a pretty basic setup, so I don't really have too many audio issues anymore. But I've had audio issues in the past, and sometimes you don't know what to do. So I get you, man. It happens.
Yeah, and we have literally a completely new audio interface, and it was literally when we tested everything, it was working, and then obviously,
It decided to shit the bed before.
anyways.
Yeah.
All right, so we kind of left off where we were talking about triangle strategy. I know OJ was going off on a little bit talking about how it kind of picks up once you get past a certain point, spoiler free. I guess that's probably a good time to get in. Let's see if does this work? Hey! So at least something's working today.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, well, I guess let's spend a moment talking about triangle strategy, because obviously you spent a lot of time putting into it. I'm obviously still in chapter 1, so I'm really not. That's basically like I haven't even played, in my opinion, anyways. When you're still stuck in chapter 1, because again, free demos out, you could literally already play this without buying the game. But so I was really into Octopath Traveler. Like I absolutely adored that game, and obviously when they initially showed this one off, I kept thinking, hey, this is like relate. Oh no, it's not. And that's fine. I think we're supposed to get a sequel to that game at some point. I think they said that. Am I wrong on that? I think we're supposed to get a sequel. I know they did that phone game prequel, but hey, don't laugh. Okay, the prequel's not as good as the original.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
just phone games, man. Sometimes they're interesting.
yeah, sometimes. So triangle strategy. is a game that I was cautiously optimistic on, and I actually was going to skip this month because Kirby's coming out. And I think what happened is I played the Kirby demo, and I had a lot of fun with the demo. It was fine. I don't ever expect Kirby to actually be that challenging. That's not usually why people play Kirby games. In my opinion, dating back to my favorite Kirby game, Return to Dreamland, I've never thought Kirby was difficult. Maybe that's just because I was playing more difficult games, but whatever the case might be, I don't play Kirby for difficulty. I just play it to have some unadulterated fun, although I didn't really have that much fun with Star Allies. So, whatever. This isn't Star Allies, so I'm not really going to worry about that. But I played it and I realized I'm going to beat this Kirby game in like a day and a half. It's just going to happen. I'm just going to be plowed through it and done in a day. I just know it. I don't know if it'll be 100%, but I can already tell I'm going to be able to just plow through this game. Like, I might be able to live stream it, guys, and be done with it in one stream. I don't know. It could end up being 40, 50 hours, but I'm getting the feeling that I'm going to be able to plow through this game just because, I don't know, I just play a lot more difficult games. So it's whatever. I have fun, and I'll probably play and be done with it. So that's when I decided, you know what, I need something else to sink my teeth into while I'm waiting for the Elden Ring patch, because Elden Ring obviously interested me because look at the review scores. Like, it's insane. And I've played every single like 95 plus rated game that's ever released. So I just really want to, see what all the hubbub is. I get it. Open world Dark Souls, I think that's a cop-out way to probably describe that game, but again, I haven't played it, so I'll talk about that at another time when I put some hours in. But Triangle Strategy, after reading a few reviews, watching a couple videos on it, it looks like a game that I think. Let me ask you, Ojo, do you think people are going to overlook this game? Because I feel like Octopath Traveler just had so much more hype going into launch than this game has.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're a tactics fan, which there's just, I guess, less tactics fans out there than maybe turn-based RPGs, you might overlook it. But I think now with the Advance Wars delay, which we'll talk about later, I think more people might check this one out. But from what I've seen, it looks like it's doing pretty well. On Amazon, it's selling well. It's in the top 5 before launch, and not at this point. And eShop, I think it's like number 2 or number 1 on eShop.
Yeah,
Japanese eShop, it's like number 2 or number 1. Yeah. So Amazon Japan, it's doing really well. So I mean, I think it has its fans. People that like tactics games and have a Switch are probably going to pick it up. And the Switch just has a huge install base, man. It's just like huge install base. So even if there's not as many people that are interested in the game, like, it's still gonna do well, like, just because there's just so many people that are on the Switch just in general. So that's kind of my thought process, at least.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. So obviously, I think I'm gonna end up really enjoying this game because I do like the Final Fantasy Tactic type games. That was actually some of the interesting things watching that PlayStation event today was that some games that gave me some of those vibes. So yeah, I don't know, like, I think, okay, so I know it's performing really well in the moment, and I don't know if that's going to continue once Kirby comes out, and then obviously we'll talk about what happened to the big game next month, but I don't know if I'm like worried, because I think Octopath Traveler massively exceeded expectations according to Square Enix, and I'm sure, I don't know what their expectations are for this game. I don't know if that set a new bar for them. But I just really want to see this game do well, because while I think it's doing well in the moment, I always worry that there's going to be a bigger than usual drop off after the first week. And I'm not sure why I'm getting that feeling. Maybe it's just because I'm not hearing the same buzz around this game as I did, with, say, Octopath Traveler, where it just felt like everybody talked about that game like over and over again for like multiple weeks. And like, I'm already, we're already a handful of days into this, and I don't hear anybody talking about it anymore. It's like the game doesn't even come up anymore. So I don't know if that's just the nature of this kind of game. Like, I've only played like Final Fantasy Tactics is like the only experience I have with this style of game before this. So, I'm just wondering, like, I don't know. How would you sell this game to somebody who hasn't tried it? Because I feel like this game just deserves more attention. Is essentially why this is a topic today. Because I really want this to get the attention that I feel like just even starting out that it deserves. Can you not hear me? Did my mic cut off?
I can hear you, but like you're like it's like going in and out and like it's kind of all over the place. But I think I heard the gist of what you were saying.
Do I sound better now?
Okay, yes. That's better.
Okay.
That's
I just turned my
definitely
mic up,
better. Yeah, that's definitely better. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I don't think that this is the type of game that needs to do crazy numbers or anything like that. I think that if it hits 1 million, they'll be pretty happy. This is a company called it's Square Enix and Art Dink. Team Asano helps out too. So I mean, I think if they can get like 1 million sales, which I think that they're gonna easily hit that. I got one of my boys who helps out with well, I mean, he's a content creator himself, but Paul Gale, he's been spot on sales.
Oh my god, yeah, he's been nailing it.
I mean, he obviously has inside information, or he has some information because he takes pictures with like all sorts of people in the gaming industry, So I mean, he's estimating around 500,000 units based on his sources. So that's a pretty good.
He's been to every E3 that's ever existed.
Yeah, and he has the pictures to prove it. So.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, like, and he actually told me before he went public with the sales numbers for Metroid Dread, he told me that it was at 2.5, 2.6 a couple weeks before Nintendo said theirs. So he said it's estimated around 2.5, 2.6, and then when Nintendo put out their numbers, it was 2.7. So I was like, okay, and people were saying, oh, that's BS. People were trying to call him out and stuff. But
he said those numbers like 2 weeks before Nintendo that they could have counted additional sales too.
No. I'm saying that people were trying to say like at the time, not that what he said was BS. At the time that
he doesn't know what.
Yes, at the time they're like, oh well, who do you know? Who's
dude, I've heard that too. Like,
yeah,
I told him once that I was skeptical, and then he kind of revealed who some of his sources were, and I was like, okay, you don't have to go that far, but okay, I believe you. It's cool. You don't need to back it up, man. Cool. Don't worry about it.
I mean, but yeah, he's saying about 500,000, which would be bigger than Octopath's opening. Yeah. I think that these type of games. Especially with, like I said, Advance Wars being delayed, I think that's actually going to improve Triangle Strategies sales and legs. And the game is super good. I mean, I've been playing it. I like it a fair bit more than Octopath Traveler. So like for me at least, I like it a lot more than Octopath Traveler. I think that they're both really good games though. I mean, but they're very different games though. Obviously, if you're into tactics more. If you're a tactics guy, then like obviously Triangle Strategy is going to be your game. But if you're into more of turn-based, old school Final Fantasy, then Octopath Traveler is going to be your game, or Bravely Default or a game like that. But for me, I mean, I like all sorts of RPGs. I don't have a preference. I just like RPGs just in general. So this one kind of does a bit more in the strategy RPG realm than Octopath does in the turn-based RPG realm, because Octopath is still at the end of the day, it's still just kind of like a watered down just a little bit Bravely Default. And Bravely Default 2 it's the same system, but Bravely Default 2's battle system is way more in depth than Octopath. So I always saw like Octopath as like a Bravely Default light. This game, Triangle Strategies, like it does so many cool things within the strategy RPG realm, like that just really makes it super fun to play once you get cooking, So I think this game's gonna have some good legs. I think it's gonna do well for Square Enix and Nintendo long term too. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, more word of mouth. I think once people start playing it more, people start picking it up and playing and kind of see it. I know you talked about not many people were talking about. I mean, like it's interesting because I know Dreamcast guy did a video on it and people were so that was nice. I saw some other people do some reviews on it. I know John's gonna pick it up, so I'm pretty sure John will talk about it at some point. So is MVG, so he might talk about it as well. So I think more people are gonna buy it. And I think Jeff Grubb was like, oh, I'm gonna check it out too, because I think just Elden Ring came out. Right? Elden Ring came out, so everyone's kind of talking about that.
And maybe that's really what it is. Maybe it's just like it's gonna kind of get that second wave of coverage here, like coming up with Kirby, because people were still wrapped up in Elden Ring.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think even like I said in April, I think that obviously with the delay. I think that this game could easily slot in on that spot. I mean, Octopath Traveler did not have a huge opening. It wasn't until a little bit people started talking about it a bit later because it picked up a lot more. Like, it wasn't front heavy. Octopath Traveler was definitely mid to back heavy, more so than at the beginning, especially when physical copies started disappearing. Then people are like, oh snap, I gotta go buy it. So, and then it went on sale a number of times, so people were able to pick it up for cheaper too. So.
Sure, yeah. So, well, I mean, I guess we'll see. As I said, maybe it probably was just the Elden Ring effect, because I mean, people are still talking about that like crazy. It's still one of the top stream games out there.
Oh yeah, Elden Ring.
It's basically a shoe-in for Game of the Year based on everything that's come out so far. But we'll see.
I mean, it should be, but let's see how Breath of the Wild 2 if that comes out.
Yeah,
but yeah, it should. I mean, right now, definitely the front runner is industry-wide Game of the Year, definitely. Elden Ring for sure.
Yep. And again, we'll see. Like, if Breath of the Wild 2 comes out and it's out in time for Game of the Year awards, and obviously Zelda's almost always a contender every year it comes out, and it's a sequel to the one that won Game of the Year, so there's that going for it. And who knows? There's a lot of other big games coming out this year as well. So I guess we'll just wait and see. When I say like it seems like a shoe-in is because you look at the review scores and like games don't get that high that often.
It's very rare.
Yeah, so you see it like, hey, it hit 97. It's Breath of the Wild level. Okay, when Breath of the Wild did that, everyone kind of knew that's Game of the Year. So, we'll see what happens. And that's kind of the interesting thing is because, and I kind of feel, I don't like how some of the staff members handled it publicly, where they were trying to throw a little shade. But I kind of feel bad for Horizon Forbidden West, how close it came out to when this game came out, because I feel like it just really overshadowed it really quickly.
Yeah, it was funny. I actually don't have a problem with what they said. And the reason why I don't have a problem with what they said is because they're allowed to have opinions too.
Oh, yeah. They're totally allowed to have opinions.
Yeah. So I actually didn't have an issue.
Situation where people were surprised because, like, you work for a company and you rarely hear those. Like, yeah, we understand those opinions are going to exist, or they're going to have some shade.
They're just generally not publicly shared.
Well, they're going to be like, oh, you care about UI elements. And like, okay, like, it's fine. It's just to the general public, it's going to come across as, okay, you're kind of just
salty.
Jealous.
Oh yeah, it came across as salty, but I mean, we all get salty every now and then. It is what it is.
Yes, we do.
It is what I mean. They got a little salty over it. That's okay. That's what makes them human, and that's cool because every time developers are always trying to be freaking robots all the time, and it was interesting to see developers say, yeah, not everybody loves Elden Ring. Not everybody is in bed with Elden Ring 24/7. There's people that don't like the UI, or yeah, the game is kind of broken on PC. Like that's what they were talking about. The game's broken on PC. I haven't been
complaining about that game. I've said, look, I know it's broken on PC. By the way, for those who don't know, PC gamers, when games are like built for consoles and then comes to PC, it's almost always this way. I think I've just grown accustomed to, hey, this is a big deal game. It's going to be broken on PC. You'll play it in 6 months and it'll finally be good. Like, I can't deal with the crashing. The crashing is what bothers me. Like, I understand that people are still enjoying it despite all that, but I cannot deal with crashing. I watched a video where a guy with my exact same monitor was playing it today, and he was trying to stream it. Which I don't know why you're trying to stream a 49-inch monitor. That's a whole nother story. I don't know. It did not look good for the audience. Let's just say that. Because as far as I'm aware, YouTube and Twitch do not support that aspect ratio when you're streaming. So, but it was watching him get frustrated because it was like, it felt like every 2 minutes it just would crash. And I'm like, Then he switched to a different monitor, and then it was kind of good for, 40 minutes or so before it crashed. So, yeah, I can't deal with crap like that. I honestly, to be honest, this is probably one of the main reasons why I still favor console gaming even over PC, even though I've been PC gaming since the 90s, is because, yeah, we do get to deal with a bunch of technical issues because the PC versions are always treated, unless it's a PC-only game, treated as like, yeah, we'll get to you when we get to you.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I've been playing the game on PS5, and it's crashed on me a couple times, but not as bad as some of the PC people have been saying.
Yeah.
And the frame rate, stuff. It seems like the frame rate stuff is just so wonky. Like when you're fighting bosses, it seems to run fine enough if it's in an enclosed area, but if you're like in the open world ish, it can can maybe affect things. And the game has like already built-in input delay, you know? Like the controls are just input delayed. There's definitely some time in between it. So you combine the frame rate issues with the input delay of just the natural input delay of the controls. Not that they're bad controls, but just natural input delay of the controls. And it just creates an experience that I was like, I think I'll wait for some patches because there's no reason why the game shouldn't be running as good on PS5, right? So that's just an optimization thing. So maybe I'll just wait for some patches. I'll just play Triangle Strategy until like just patch it up quite a bit, and then I'll get back into it. That's what made me decide to
get Triangle Strategy, because I was like, all right, cool. I don't want to wait till Kirby. I don't have anything to really play in the moment. I'm sort of done with Pokemon Legends Arceus, so I was like, you know what? I'll get Elden Ring. Oh wait, okay. Everyone on PC keeps saying wait. I'm watching all the issues. I'm like, okay, I need something else. Well, Triangle Strategy came out. You know, I've only played one other franchise like this. You know what? Let me give it a try. And so far, I enjoy it. But again, we're so early on. It's mostly dialogue, so I can't even comment on real gameplay yet. But I am glad to hear that you confirmed earlier that, yeah, it really does open up at a certain point, and it's just...
Yeah. Another thing that people don't do that I noticed is that in between the chapters, you get new encampment battles in the tavern. And pretty much those battles are what you're supposed to be doing in between the talkie chapters. So you can get some battling in, you can get some experience, you can grind out some materials, so you can upgrade your characters and all that. So that's something that some people are just skipping completely, and you definitely shouldn't. So if you have Triangle Strategy, guys, make sure you go into your encampment. And remember, you can access that at any time. You can access it before a main story battle. You can access it, when you're in your exploration phase of the game. You can access the encampment at any time. Go into it, go to the tavern, speak with the lady there, and she can get you new battles to do in between. And like I said, they get you good rewards. They get you to where you can farm kudos points, the Quietus system, which you don't know about yet, Nate. I don't think you do. Yeah, so you can get new Quietus stuff on there. So yeah, make sure you guys do that too. Some people are like, oh, Steph, I forgot that you can do that, or I haven't been paying attention. It also helps you with strategy too, because they'll give you certain like attacks that like enemies will do, like a pincer attack, right? Or like a flank attack, or mages or stuff like that. So it'll help you with different scenarios in the main campaign too. So it's pretty cool. Actually, that's one of the best things about this game, because you can grind at any point. You can grind, or you can get the materials at any point. Fire Emblem, for example, on the hard difficulty, 3 houses, you can't grind. There's no grinding whatsoever. So it makes the game way harder than it even should be, because you just can't grind. Now on normal and down, you can.
You just have to progress the way the game pushes you, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's freaking hard. I'm not great at I like tactics games and I'll play them, but I'm not like super tactical or anything like that. So, dude, it took me 14 hours to beat the final boss in Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Like...
I was up. I didn't get to the final boss on hard because it was just, oh my god, I had to turn it down, or I wasn't gonna get there. It was so infuriating halfway through.
Don't blame you. Don't blame you. Without being able to grind, what can you do if you're just getting cooked? Like what can you do? Like it was ridiculous. But yeah, I actually got it beat. But like, you've got to really be strategic in how you divvy up your experience and who you level up, because you're not going to get more experience.
Right.
Like, yeah. So like this game, I'm so glad this game has no permadeath, and this game has grinding, so I can play it on hard. It's still difficult. Like the AI in this game is really good. They're going to do the best option, even on normal. They always do the best option, like for the most part. So it's still there. The difficulty's still there, but it's fun. It's fun because I can actually grind and get my people up, So
awesome.
So yeah, it's good. I like it.
Awesome, man. Oh, I can't wait to dive further into this game. I'm actually gonna play some tonight before I go to bed. It's funny because like right before bed is like the real time I get to game, guys. Like, but yeah, I there's my life's really hectic. Okay, everyone's lives got things going on, but like really, I'm done with YouTube. I'm done with work. I'm done with college. Kids are all asleep. This is it. This is when I get to, and that's why I love Switch, because I don't have to sit down here on my TV and play. I can just take it right to my bed and just chill. Ugh. I can't wait to dive in tonight. It's gonna be fun. Although it sounds like it might not be till tomorrow or the next day that I really get into where it advances, but I can't wait. All right, let's get into our second topic, because this was just announced today. I don't know if it surprised some people or didn't surprise some people. People are on both sides of the fence. It's sort of a difficult topic for me to talk about, because it's really hard to talk about it without it having some sort of political backing behind it. at least in terms of the way that people view this stuff. I don't tend to think that what it's about is that political to me, but whatever. People are going to say what they say. Nintendo announced that Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp today is basically delayed indefinitely at the moment. There's no future release date at this time. It's nothing to do with the game not being done. They literally just advertised it 3 weeks ago. It's obviously, they mentioned it's because of the current ongoing events in the world. They didn't really mention the specific events, but we all know what event it is because there's been people calling for the game to also be delayed as well, to be sensitive to the current events going on. And my initial reaction was obviously just, at first, a little bit of disappointment because it is just, these are just games that are, I can go play them right now. They're already out in the world. It's not as if these are new games. But obviously, I'm well aware that I think less what the games are, more that there's the name war in the game. Well, there's an actual real thing happening in the world around that is something Nintendo obviously doesn't want to be associated with at the moment. And it's really interesting because I think that this puts the whole industry in a really weird place because war games are extremely popular. They're literally one of the most popular genres out there, whether it's Call of Duty or the Battlefields, or you have Call of Duty Warzone as well. They're really popular games, and it's just interesting to me to see that this game, a strategy tactics game that doesn't take place anywhere around where the conflicts are happening,
and it's super cartoony.
And it's super cartoony at that, yeah.
It's not even like, I can understand if it was like a Call of Duty where it's somewhat real, very realistic, but this is very, very cartoony, and so that kind of makes me scratch my head a little bit, but I do understand.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo has always been one that likes to, at least from my experience, they like to associate in that they like to ride that fence of pleasing everybody as much as they possibly can in any sort of controversy. Whether some people think that's why we haven't gotten Mother 3 in the West is because of some of the themes that are in that game. They're worried about how that would be accepted today. I don't know if that's really the case. They've re-released it in Japan. Japan also has completely different culture, so.
That's completely the case.
yeah, right?
I mean,
like, we all know that's why, right? Like,
you know about the stuff that's in Mother 3, though, right? Like, there's quite a number of things in Mother 3 that would cause... they should have released it before. That's what they should have just done it over.
It back in the day when people went to care, right? But,
yeah, exactly.
And, like, because I know people are like, oh, they re-released it in Japan. I'm like... Okay, dude, and in Japan, I can marry an avatar. What's your point? Like, Japan's a completely different culture, okay?
Yeah, Japan's a different beast. Like, here in America, like, violence is like, okay, cool. But in Japan, it's like, no. Like, blood and stuff like that. No more heroes get censored, things like that, So it's like, it's a completely different thing, Whereas, like, sexual themes are a little bit more okay in terms of stuff in Japan. But here in America, it's like, no, not those, So... Yeah. It's interesting.
I mean, but Nintendo bought a hotel in Japan. They're not buying one here.
There was a fan that apparently Advance Wars, the original, was delayed in Europe and Japan because of 9/11. So,
which is weird.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I totally forgot that was even a thing, that they did delay the game. But apparently somebody told me that. Hopefully that's true. But I mean,
yeah. Oh, well, so in Europe and in Japan it was delayed, but not the U.S.
No, because it came out the day before.
Oh, it came out. Oh, it's right. It was the 10th.
Yeah, it came out the 10th.
You're right. It was the 10th. So they couldn't.
Yeah.
At that point, it's already out. Yeah.
So I mean, and that was something obviously American thing. So I mean, I guess if there's any type of controversy at any point, like, but I mean, like, this is like. Oof, because like the game is coming out in like April 8th was the date, right? So I think the big thing is that they didn't want to be like, because they have to start the marketing, right?
Yeah.
So I guess they didn't just want to be showing that, hey, look at these cartoon wars that's going on, people getting blown up by tanks and aircraft and all that, when there's an actual war. It just seems, I guess in today's day, tone deaf. But I mean, like, I understand, like, I legitimately understand both sides. I'm not trying to play like in between, but I legitimately understand both sides of people being upset and people who are saying,
that's totally a Nintendo thing to do, based on especially here in Nintendo, in America, they've been very not wanted to be associated with controversy. Because I saw one argument today, which I totally get. It's like, Nintendo only cares because the war is being heavily publicized, and it's like, yeah, probably, because there's always war going on somewhere, everywhere. There's war. We just don't hear about it. This is heavily publicized because it's Russia, and Russia is considered one of the superpowers in the world. So they're going at with more powerful weapons than we're accustomed to seeing in a lot of the other wars. The fact that there was even the threat of nukes at one point was kind of like, okay, yeah, this is not like, let's just not mess around a little bit. That's going to be a lot more publicized in countries that they're just working on, AK-47s that came out during the 90s off the back of a truck somewhere. And this doesn't mean dismissing those wars. It's just saying that
Absolutely.
Nintendo doesn't care because they're not publicized. They're not in the public eye. People aren't thinking about it.
As someone, I was in, Nigeria last year, and there's like many little wars, not in Nigeria, but all throughout Africa, all the time, like ground wars and stuff like that. But once again, information is scarce. They don't have cameras there like that. So, you're just not going to get that publicity. But yeah, you're talking about somebody.
Streams on Twitter
exactly.
But bomb drops. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like, these people got nukes. You know what I'm saying? So it's obviously like way more like, snap.
Just to speak on people that think that the rest of the world should be doing more, the rest of the world's afraid to do more because Russia just pushes a button and this gets a hell of a lot worse for everybody. So
yeah.
So that's
I'm pretty sure
just speaking on as just a general human being, I feel for everyone going through this, it can get a hell of a lot worse, which is why the world is just like, we'll just run a bunch of sanctions, because if they actually get involved, it's there's a person running Russia right now that ain't afraid to push a button, and that's a scary thought. But yeah, I look at it like this, people try to act like it's political and all that. I just think Nintendo just doesn't want bad PR. That's all it is. It's just a PR thing.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, as much as I was really excited for those games to come out, and I can still go play them anyways, they're already out there. Go buy it at GameStop. They have used copies. It really wasn't probably going to be a massive seller anyways. So I'm not really sure that Nintendo is even that worried about it. Like, oh no, our April game is not there. Okay, well, they're about to have Nintendo Switch Sports come out not too long from now, and that's going to massively outsell whatever this game is going to do. This was kind of a filler game.
It gives Kirby a little bit more time to breathe.
Yeah, it does. Well, I don't think. No, I don't know how. I'm very interested to see how well Kirby sells, because obviously Kirby has never been a big seller.
Kirby's going to do really well.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be the best-selling Kirby of all time. Which,
I
feel like we say that for every game that comes out on Switch. Oh, this is the best-selling in this franchise of all time.
Yeah, Kirby's going to do extremely well.
Yeah.
It's blowing, like right now, it's like, in terms of like pre-order stuff, from some of the numbers that I've got, or some of the indications that I got pre-order-wise, it's destroying Star Allies. Now, Star Allies did 3 million units plus somehow.
Yeah,
So,
I know. I remember I was like, Star Allies wasn't even that good. Then I went and looked at the sales, and I was like, are you... Okay, this outsold a lot of really good Kirby games. Man, that Switch effect is so real. Even if the game is great.
You can play the game with your kids. I think that's one of the big things. Like, I played Star Allies
it was
with my
fun
daughter,
to play with my kids. Yeah, but I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I think some people get disappointed because they want Kirby to be something I don't know that it's ever really been. And what's funny is some people are really receptive to that demo too. I don't think you've had a chance to check it out.
No,
yet,
I'm planning on it within either tonight or tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, it's fun. Not super difficult, but it obviously gives out the 3D world vibes. At least it did to me. Maybe it's just the camera perspective, because it's not really a free roam camera. But I don't know. I'm really excited for that game, and it sucks, in one hand that we're not going to get Reboot Camp when we want it. I have no idea when they're going to release it, because I think it's all TBD, because they're waiting for this conflict to be over.
I don't think it's going to hurt the sales, because I think the people who are going to get it are still going to get it.
I think the people interested in this game are we're always going to get it.
And I still don't think the people on the fence is going to... I don't think it's going to change their mind either. They're still going to be on the fence when it comes out.
Now, the only thing I can think of is, depending on how the release slate lines up, like the way... Like, if you look at the first 6 months of this year, there's a very deliberate release slate of games, and that was part of that deliberate release slate. And you could argue that carrying momentum game to game to game potentially could have boosted it a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Well, and then it depends on when it comes out too. If it hits in a bad spot between two major games too.
Yeah, at this point, I don't expect the game to come out this year. I just
that's true.
Oh, not this year? Oh yeah, I think it's going to come out this year. I think it's going to come out. I think it's going to come out probably 2 or 3 months. So I would probably say summer-ish or maybe a bit later. I'm thinking that things will probably, hopefully, be better by then. Because there's no way. I mean, I hope it doesn't last that long. That's going to be bad if it lasts that long. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing Nintendo's going to push it probably like summer-ish type of title outside, maybe August, so maybe a bit more than that. But yeah, June, July,
Well,
somewhere like that.
The reason I said next year isn't because I mean, God forbid that this conflict is going on that long, because that's, I mean, at that point you can talk about an entire country just being dead. So that's not what anyone wants to see happen. But I will say that I think, not just the conflict coming to a resolution, I think Nintendo's going to want a gap from this being over to when they release it, because even releasing it like, okay, the war ended a month ago, let's drop a war game, people are still going to argue that's a little tone deaf to the people still trying to recover from all those events. So I think Nintendo, that's why I'm like, I think 2023 is just going to make more sense, because they're going to want that gap. But this is obviously all guesswork. None of us know when it's going. I don't even know if Nintendo actually knows when they're going to drop it at this point, because there's a current conflict going on, that it's outside of everyone's control. I know the rest of the world is trying to go on like everything's okay, but we're all well aware, guys. We're all on social media. We see the reports, we see the picture. Even if you don't watch news channels, you see the horrific stuff going on out there. It's not good.
Even me, who lives under a rock, knows what's going on.
Well, I think the most recent one I saw today that was just horrific was like, Russia broke the ceasefire, which of course they did, and then bombed like a hospital or something with people in it, and it's just like, this is war. This is like old school, the wars that we all read about in the history books, where they don't care about civilian casualties, and like, this is just, it sucks. And that's why this game's not coming up, because Nintendo doesn't want to even be remotely associated with anything to do with war at the moment.
Yeah, it's interesting because Triangle Strategy isn't technically, I mean, they did publish it in some regions and stuff like that, and obviously helped out with distribution. But the socials went quiet for Triangle Strategy,
Yeah.
They went quiet and they just said, "Oh, night it's out." Like they didn't even.
Yeah,
like, they just
it's like they were afraid, and maybe that was part of the silence I was talking about, where it's kind of like, hey, we released it, and then like, hey, we're not.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
don't we don't want to point out that, like, hey, we got wars going on in our game. We don't want no.
I think that maybe they felt that Advance Wars is a little bit worse because Triangle Strategy, it's like old school, like it's not tanks and stuff like that. It's bows and arrows and
like that. I think that war in the name is really a big like. Yeah. You can't.
And then I saw this in chat too. Do you think this has any effect on the Fire Emblem Warriors game then? If it's still going on in June?
That's a good question.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think so.
Because it's like old school medieval stuff that's not really what we're seeing today.
Right, not tanks.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't mean that I don't know. I can't. I just don't foresee people finding that to be too offensive, anyways. Mm-hmm. I mean, someone's. I'll put it this way: someone's always going to be offended about everything. That's just the way the world goes. But I don't think that's going to be impacted too much. I don't know. It's just bad timing. Kind of like how perfect timing worked out for Animal Crossing when the pandemic started for Nintendo. World crisis is happening. Hey, this is a great time to drop a game that requires tons of hours and you sit at home and to live a virtual life. Cool. That actually worked out in Nintendo's favor. Now this is a real world event that works against them. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles when the real world crashes with the virtual world. Cool. Do you guys have anything else you want to say about that before we move on?
Yeah,
Nope,
it's an interesting time.
It's interesting to say the least. This last story is a little bit more fun, anyways. This last thing we're going to talk about. So Nintendo last month, when they dropped Majora's Mask, didn't tell us we were going to get a game this month, which was actually something they had consistently done, I think, for 2 or 3 months. And then yesterday they dropped the news. Hey, guess what? You're getting F-Zero X this Friday. Full online play, which of course that's what they've been doing with all the multiplayer and 64 games, so not a surprise. Plus, I think this was one of the games we knew was coming based on the original announcement. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I saw F-Zero in the original NSO
it was.
announcement. Yeah, so it was a game we knew was coming eventually. And it's very clear what Nintendo's strategy is at this point. All of the games they've already announced, they're going to drop one per month. That's just what they're going to do. They've consistently done it. They're going to do it, and then when they get to the end of what was already announced, I don't know if they're done. I don't know if there'll be more games. They haven't had new Genesis games in a while, actually. Granted, when they do add them, they add like a crap load of them at once. It's like here's 20 new games. Oh, okay, that came out of nowhere. But it's actually been a couple months, I think, since they added Genesis. So what I find interesting is we look at Nintendo Switch Online today, and they're consistently adding at least a game a month at this point, which we've seen them do before with NES and SNES, where they were consistent for a set amount of time and then they just stopped, and then they started up randomly and then stopped again. That's just, I don't know why Nintendo does that. That's just what they do. And we see them obviously pushing the expansion pack hard and adding all that DLC into it. And I guess my grander question at this point is, obviously a lot of people, regardless of what Nintendo adds content-wise, is always going to be upset that the Switch is missing some basic features. No way to message people, even on the phone app that they just updated to the 2.0 update. That was a very lovely new paint job that really doesn't do anything. Oh, look, I can see what game my friends are playing, but I still can't message them about it or join them or anything. I can just tell they're online playing a game. Still need my Switch, so I don't know. It's weird. By the way, it looks pretty. It's almost, like I talked about it at the time. I thought it was kind of half baked a little bit. Like, hey, this looks like something that could lead to something else, but that something else is missing. And that's kind of the way I think I felt about NSO since the day it came out. It's like cool. Some of the stuff there is cool, but then some of it is okay. And for me right now, for those who don't know, my Nintendo Switch Online membership expired 3 days ago. And I haven't renewed. Now, I probably will eventually renew at least the cheap tier so I can play multiplayer games with you guys, but with all of our followers. But it's...
You will once Splatoon comes out.
Well, definitely once Splatoon 3 comes out, yeah. But the thing is, will I go a full year, or will I just be like, hey, give me a month? I'm good. Like, this is the first time with all these services. Like, I just re-upped Game Pass Ultimate for a year. PlayStation Network I actually have for like the next 2 years, even though I sold my PlayStation 5. I'm going to have to get a new one, so that's a whole... But whatever, I'm paid up, so I ain't got to worry about it. Maybe. Except for the fact that they release these games, and now I'm not there to claim them. That kind of sucks right now, that I can't claim the games.
So you're paying for something that you don't even use?
Yeah, well, so I had a PlayStation 5 at the time, and I got 2 years of the past. Like, basically, I wasn't planning to get rid of the PlayStation 5. There was just a situation that came up late last year where it was like, God damn it, I need like $400 in this exact moment, and I don't know what the fuck to do. So I was like, shit. The PlayStation is the only thing in my house that I literally don't need. It's just a want. Mm-hmm. So it kind of got shifted out. I'm in a better place now. I need a problem. I just need to get my hands on another one. I'm literally giving away one this month, or an Xbox or a Switch, whatever the winner.
Yeah, I heard you talk, but I thought maybe like you had like a PS4 or you had like something that you can use like.
No, so fun story. There was when I got the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, and I did a live stream where I successfully liquid metal cooled the Series X. I got a little happy that I pulled that off, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull it off, because I didn't record my process very well to put it back together, and it worked, and it still works to this day. I got a little happy it took a sledgehammer to my PlayStations. In hindsight, probably wasn't a smart move. By the way, I knew I was getting the PlayStation 5. In hindsight, it wasn't a smart move. I'd like to have the PlayStation 4 still. It would be really good to keep on hand.
You destroyed your PlayStation 4?
Yes.
For what reason?
Entertainment purpose, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
The chat was not happy. The chat was
I saw. You know what? Maybe John also put a sledgehammer to a system before. So I mean, it happens.
Yeah. What did he sledgehammer?
It was like I forgot what system it was, but I just remember him hitting something with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, and guys know I wasn't trying to be like that plain rock guy that like every time a new thing comes out, he's got to find a fun way to destroy it. That was not the case. I literally just think I don't need this anymore.
Too bad it wasn't your GameCube.
I'm good. I could have obviously sold it or gave it to somebody who could have used it, but the PlayStation 3, and I had the PlayStation 3 that played PlayStation 2 games, which isn't that many of those either. And so it was a situation that people didn't think I was going to do it. And I was live, and I had the sledgehammer, and I just let it fly. And then I sold my PlayStation 5 and instantly regretted every decision I had made.
Yeah.
From that point to that.
Is there a little liquid courage involved in that too?
On that stream, there was only a couple shots.
Okay.
Only about 2 shots at that time. After I destroyed it, then people were like, "Oh man, then the regret set in, and oh yeah, here's a $50. You better do a shot of whatever it was." So, no, it was tequila, some sort of tequila. Yeah. Tequila always messes me up, and I was like, "This is just, guys, I already destroyed it. I don't know what you're trying to do at this point to me. This isn't gonna do anything. The stream's over in like 5 minutes."
Yeah. I mean, too bad they weren't built like the GameCube where the sledgehammer would just bounce right off.
I don't know if a sledgehammer would. Well, maybe.
I don't know. The GameCube.
I don't know. They dropped that. They've done some stress tests on the GameCube. Like the flat might break. I don't know. Nintendo systems used to be made like bricks.
Yeah.
That's what's weird about Switch is that it's not that way. It's very much a modern device, aka it's easily breakable.
Many moving parts, the Joy-Cons and stuff.
The Joy-Cons and
the Switch Lite is pretty durable.
Yeah. I mean, guys, technically, the OG Switch survived, 1,000-foot drop from a drone. So, I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the Joy-Cons didn't survive, but the actual tablet did. So.
Yeah. The Joy-Con, the moving parts is what caused it to be. Yeah. You know, almost like the cheese wedge, like the 3DS, kind of like not so good, but then the cheese wedge 2DS,
the 2DS,
very good.
To prop my door with. Yeah, right. Legitimately, still have 2 of those. I think laying around here. Anyways, yeah. So obviously I'm in a big debate right now about whether or not I should renew Nintendo Switch Online, which is obviously a personal choice and if it's worthwhile. And I'll come to that decision probably pretty quickly. It's not like it's stupidly expensive anyways. But then it's if I consider the expansion pack, because like I bought the Animal Crossing DLC, legit bought it, so that has no value to me with the NSO at the moment. There's the Mario Kart DLC that's about to come out, which I haven't bought yet. Can get it through NSO, so there is that. And then people are probably going to expect. I think like next week. Is that when the first wave drops? I think it's next week.
Yeah, next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday. So, people are going to expect me to live stream on Friday and play it, which, by the way, I don't have to buy it to do that, to play with you guys. I just need to have the $20 tier because all the courses will be available to play online. Supposedly. At least that's what it said. So, I don't know. I'm like OJ, have they done enough for you to be just satisfied with NSO? Or are you like still, hey, we need some basic features, or we need...
I'm not a subscription service person, so I don't subscribe to PS Plus. I don't subscribe to Game Pass. I don't subscribe to any of these. The only reason why I have NSO is because Nintendo gives me NSO, and I don't even ask for it. They just give it to me, and they just say, "Hey, what do you think?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, don't even ask me what do you think. They just say, "Hey, here it is." I guess because I'm a ambassador, so I get their games anyway. So in order for me to play their games online, they need this. So they just they just supply it for me. Outside looking in, if I would get it just to play the games online, like to play Splatoon,
like that's the big
play Mario Kart.
I would Xbox Live. Like we didn't even talk about that. Like they strong arm you because you got to play. You need it for multiplayer.
Yeah, that would be the only reason. I wouldn't get it because of like the classic games or anything like that. I'm not big a subscription service gamer. Like Game Pass and all that, that's great, but as an adult, you don't have time to play all that. It's like you just don't. Like you can put 5 billion games on Game Pass, but I don't have time to play all that in addition to the new games that come out that aren't available on Game Pass. So for example, like Elden Ring, that's not on Game Pass. So if I was an Xbox gamer, well, I'm just going to buy Elden Ring and play that. So and I'm going to be playing that game, right? So for me, I'm just not subscription service guy. Like I don't understand why I would need PS Plus, and also only for the online. Like I know I'm going to get
that they strong arm you to. Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to get the online because I want to play Returnal. I might play that with Dreamcast guy.
The new co-op coming out. Yeah.
The co-op. So I'll get like the 1 month, and I'll play that, and I'll have my fill, and then I'll be done. And then I'll be done with this. So I don't think. To be honest, like I don't think for me, I don't think they've done enough really. When it comes to the features, like I feel you on like the features when it comes to like messaging and all that type of stuff. They should definitely add all that. I'll be honest, I won't use it because I don't use it on PlayStation or Xbox at all. So I wouldn't use it, but for other people, definitely, just because I run a community too, and Discord is so much easier to like message,
Yeah.
to get online, to it's just anybody can hop in.
And this
Yeah.
is one reason that I wish Nintendo would have kept it around, even if they would have started charging for it. Was remember Miiverse? Like Miiverse was sweet. There wasn't perfect, but it was unique enough
Love,
and
hate.
different enough. You know.
Love hate with Miiverse. The problem with Miiverse is that it took too long to do everything. It was laggy. It
was
took
not-
too long.
Yeah.
And
It was too
you
far
ended up-
ahead for the technology it was on. It needed better. faster.
yeah, once Discord came out and I started using Discord, even while Nintendo had Miiverse was going, I was like, I never logged on Miiverse ever again. I know it's quirky and it's unique and it's definitely Nintendo, and it would be cool if they implemented some type of thing like that. But like I said, I rather just use Discord for everything. But hopefully they implement those things to where people feel like it's more worth it, or it's more worth whatever. But I'll be honest, I wouldn't use any of those features because I don't use any of them on Xbox.
Sure.
And I've played. We use Discord. I played Minecraft. We didn't use the what's it called, the built-in voice chat and all that. We were on Discord. We were talking there and messaging there.
To
You
be
know,
completely honest,
so-
I'm surprised Nintendo didn't partner with Discord and put Discord on the Switch and just allow you to log into your Discord and chat with your friends while you're playing your games. I'm really surprised on that because it seems like it would be a smart idea to do.
Could be a resource issue, maybe. Like Switch doesn't really run two apps at once, and that could just be a resource thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't run like two apps at a time. I mean, you can put your game in background, like you can suspend it.
Yeah, you can suspend, but you're not running it. But
you're not running.
If you click on something else, it closes it. So
Exactly. So yeah, that it could be that, or maybe they do that for like the next thing. Maybe they do that, but yeah, like that would be that. Like I said, that'd be sweet. I mean, but to be honest, I think like Xbox has Discord integration and all that, and I still don't use it because it's still not as good as.
yeah,
It's still not as good as having your PC.
On Xbox, the only thing I use it for, messaging wise, like, I don't care about the chat stuff that much. Like, yeah, I can put a headset on and trash talk someone online. Who really cares? Like, that's literally all it is. Anyone you see with their headset on is basically on because they want to trash talk. Now, there are legitimately people, by the way, that will team up and do practice and are teams and trying to get really good and a bunch of friends, and they're not chatting on Xbox for that. They're using Discord or some other service, just because it's more convenient. But I will say, I do Madden. I'm in a few Madden leagues as an example, and it is kind of convenient that if I don't know who the person is on the Discord server, because we have Discord servers for all of it. Like, I don't know who they are, but I can see their username in the game. I can just tap on them and send them a message and be like, "Hey, when do you want to play?" And it's a convenience thing. It's not like, oh, I don't have other methods, but this is you, that you are the username attached to the team I'm playing. This is really cool that I can just quick message you and, hey, no problems. We don't have to deal with figuring out who each other are on Discord. But that's really I think why people clamor for this stuff. It's more just the convenience factor. Not that all of us are going to use it all the time. Like Miiverse was a totally different thing and totally unique, just because you could draw the pictures, and they somehow had it pseudo connected with the user review system, which again I wish they still had on Switch. Where as much as I don't think the user reviews were a good gauge, because every Nintendo game was like a 4.5 or 5 star period. End of story. There was no question, no matter what game it was, which. You could argue is kind of fair. Most of the Nintendo Wii U games, Nintendo published ones, were pretty good. I think Devil's Third was the only one I didn't really like that much. I think I liked pretty much all the other ones. I at least enjoyed them enough to complete them. I played a lot of Wii U games. Holy crap. Just thinking back, sorry, the Wii U days were, I know for a lot of people, the dark days of the Nintendo. For me, I was busy having a good time and just waiting for the next games, and then they just stopped making games. And then they ended with the worst Paper Mario of all time. So, and then they told me we're not making
not worse than the sticker star. Might be worse than that.
I think they're neck and neck, man. Neck and neck. I don't think either one of them are very good. I really did.
Yeah, I dislike both of them. So yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah. The one they did on Switch was all right. That one wasn't too bad. That was a bit of a redeem. It was more like the best version of whatever the hell they've been trying to do with it so far.
Yeah, but it's still not quite
it's
up
not the old school.
Yeah, yeah, not up to Super Mario RPG, not up to
1,000 Year Door.
1,000 Year Door, the N64 game.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, it's a totally different direction. So Origami King, obviously I don't think it's as good as those ones, but of what they've been doing with it since those days, okay, like, all right, you made a quality version of what you're attempting to do, even though I'm still going to be sour because you literally completely changed the entire IP after 2 games. But hey, you know what they're going to do? What they're going to do? Nintendo's going to Nintendo. I've been dealing with this when I used to love Mario Tennis back in the day and Mario Golf. They were full on RPGs on Game Boys. Like, they were amazing and fun. And then they just completely changed what they are, and they've really never been the same since. And hopefully, we'll see what happens with Mario Strikers.
Oh, fingers crossed that's good.
Well, it's being made by the people who made the last one, Next Level Games. So let's hope that I know it's been 13 years. I don't even know if they have the same employees anymore, but I don't.
They do, actually. That's the funny
thing. They do. They've kept them all.
Not all of them, but a lot of the core staff is still intact.
Oh,
yes, nice. That's what I like to hear. See, I haven't looked at their staff list in a while, so that actually Mario Strikers. Then that's I should.
There's been some departures. The president is left. He retired after the buyout, so he's gone.
He wanted to retire, I think. So
yeah, he got his money and retired.
The whole reason it's on the bottom is like the main people wanted out.
But yeah, a lot of the and the gameplay looks very similar.
For sure, right? Oh yeah.
Looks very similar.
When you sit back and the trailers playing, because I was just replaying the Nintendo Direct the other day while I was cleaning, and like I just glanced over and I'm like, dude, why is Mario Strikers on GameCube? Oh wait, no, that's the new one. Like for a brief moment, my mind went to, oh, I'm just watching some GameCube gameplay. Like very, very similar. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully makes improvements over it. I'm just glad it's happening. I mean, this is one of those. I'm just glad it's happening, and then now that F-Zero's out, it just makes me really wish that we had a new F-Zero game. Even though I know pretty much every idea they get like F-Zero is something they just throw in Mario Kart at this point, but I don't care.
So pull the death wheel in then. Wait, there's no death wheel. You don't die in Mario Kart, so never mind.
Well, there you go. And that's the new addition for Mario Kart 10, whatever they call it. They're gonna add the death wheel in now. just die, straight up die. But yeah, it's and you know, with NSO going back to like the subscriptions, you know, like I can get like Game Pass as an example. I always tell people don't get Game Pass if there's not going to be enough games coming out while you own it to make it worth it, because it's. Ultimately, you have to have Game Pass and you have to have Xbox Live. So you need basically Game Pass Ultimate. It's $180 a year. That's what it's going to cost you, unless you obviously took advantage of. There was a long time where you could take advantage and get like multiple years for $1. It was Microsoft caught on to it eventually, but there's a lot. Let's just say of the millions of subscribers to Game Pass, there's probably a good 10 of them that haven't paid Microsoft more than $5 for the service ever. So it's just. People will find a way to game the system when you can. It's Microsoft's own fault. They did it to themselves. It was a promotion, and people found a way to abuse the hell out of it and get tons of years at it. Why they didn't cap it at 1 year, I will never know. But whatever. Microsoft just wants those numbers. They want to be able to say, we have 50 million, we have 60, we have 7. They want the numbers more so than they want to say we're making all the money, because they're actually losing money, at least for the moment. But... that's what I say about the services like Game Pass. Like, games as a service is always, you know, some people are always going to say no. Like NSO, why people don't, you know, even no matter what Nintendo does by adding games, you don't own them, and Nintendo could take away your access at any point in the future.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Which, I mean, sort of what we're going to be experiencing eventually with Wii U once they finally shut down the servers. They're not shutting them down. That's not the news that happened. They're just, you can't make purchases anymore. But eventually they're not going to let you re-download stuff. It happened with Wii. So at some point, you know, yeah, you could, if your system breaks, lose access to the games you even bought digitally. It's always been the knock against digital games, is that you're exchanging potential long-term ownership, because yes, people sometimes damage their physical games. I know it's hard to believe. OJ, look how well and how neat and organized you keep your stuff. Probably don't get your games damaged too much.
No, but I've had scares of my daughter. She spilled a bunch of some type of juice, over my 3DS games, and then one time she hid all of them in her room. She just like threw them all over the place. So yeah, it can happen.
Oh, I had them all organized on my old set with when I had the shelf up. All my Switch games. There was like 30 of them sitting there, and of course, Daddy had to take a nap, and son decides to wake up and go through every single one and take all the cartridges out, which it's not like Switch cartridges are huge or anything. And to this day, I am still missing like 5 games that I cannot find. And we literally just ripped everything out of this house and put new flooring in, and we still can't. I worry the kid ate it.
Those games are gone, dude. Those games are gone.
Just power.
Well, I mean, that's really what it is.
Just power through
I keep my games
craft
well,
taste.
but when you got kids, things are just they're gonna happen. When I was a kid, I did dumb things to games too that I wasn't thinking at the time. So
Your kids are strange enough that they may actually like the taste of them.
you know what? Yeah, that little coating they put on is supposed to prevent. Yeah,
Yulia, quit napping.
Yeah, probably spread some peanut butter on that. Quit napping, damn, honey. This was a couple of years ago. Yeah, quit napping, damn. This was before Oliver was in school. Anyways, it was. It was just it's interesting when I think about those services. Like Game Pass to me has become worth it because of I'm gaming on everything, or about to once I get another PlayStation 5, and I gotta save money somewhere. And 80 or 180 a year is 3 games. And I kept thinking, if Nintendo had this service, you know how much money I'd save?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, just look at this year. I've already spent 180, and I'm only in March, and I already know the game's coming that I'm going to be buying more of. So I wish Nintendo had this service, but they're not going to because their sales are too incredible, and Microsoft sales weren't. So that's one reason why they went this direction. But there's enough coming out from Microsoft every year that. Yeah, I'll play at least 3 or 4 games to make it worthwhile. I'll play MLB The Show. Now I don't got to buy MLB The Show, which, what sucks about that is that as happy as I am that MLB The Show is coming to Switch, it also means that, like, I was just going to play it on Xbox, but now that it's on Switch, and now I'm a Nintendo channel, and people know I play sports games, they're going to be people like, hey, man, how's this play on Switch? Like, I'm playing on Xbox right now. Right. No, we know, but how's it play on Switch? I'm sorry.
You don't have to. You don't have to cover everything.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
It's like you have to. No,
because
it's a major third-party game coming to Switch that we weren't getting before. Like, yeah, I don't have to buy NBA 2K for Switch every year because everyone already knows. Yeah, it's a quality, solid experience, 30 FPS. You know what you're gonna get. Doesn't change. This is the first one coming to Switch for a sports game. So it's like I got this obligation. This is the first one. I got to get it, even though I'd probably rather play it on Xbox because it's 60 FPS.
I don't think you do. I think here's the thing, Prime. I think that once you start realizing that you don't have to do everything just because, is when you start actually having a bit more fun.
That wasn't just because.
So I don't think you have to get it on there if you want to play it on Xbox and you think, hey, you can just say, hey, it's on Switch too, but. I don't know, man. Like for me, like Game Pass, all that type of stuff, that's great. I'm just, I'm old school. I'm just not a fan of rental games. Like half this stuff, you're just not gonna play this stuff, and you're gonna end up buying a lot of stuff anyway. So for me, like it makes sense. Like Game Pass makes sense. It's no hate. I think if I was a child, Game Pass would be like the greatest thing ever. Because like you can just get a rotating amount of games and not worry about it. But as an adult, and I care about physical games, I still buy my games on Xbox. Like actually I don't buy games on Xbox anymore because of the DRM issues, but like I still buy my PlayStation 5 games. Like I'll buy a PS5 game and I'll hold it, even though you can get Game Pass on there, right? I still rather buy the game. Like Scarlet Nexus was on Game Pass while I had it because I had a promotion, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't even play it on there. I'm like, I don't want to play digital only Scarlet Nexus. I want to own the game. I want to support the developer that way. And I just bought the game I waited for a bit and I bought the game on PS5 and I've been enjoying it. It has like the nice little controller features. So for me, like I said, it's because I can afford it. But if I couldn't, then I would totally be all over Game Pass, I guess. But for me, it's just, I like the preservation of the games, like in physical games. I like to have the physical game. I don't like DRM. I want to have value. I like to assess value to my games. And Game Pass doesn't do any of that. It plays right into what Microsoft wants, which is you just renting everything, you not having any real ownership, you building no value with your games. That's what Game Pass does, and it sucks you into that, and then keeps you there, and says, well, I can't get rid of it because I'm gonna lose access to all my games. So that type of mindset for me is just, it's a no-go. But I understand why you're there and why other people are there,
Yeah. Well,
but I don't want to get sucked into that mindset. The mindset of I'll lose everything. I'm okay with NSO because it's just ROMs at the end of the day. It's just like, like whatever. I bought these games 5 million times over. But with Microsoft, it's actual big games that come out. And I'm like, you know what? I can't play them anyway every single day one. I'd rather just wait and actually own them and be able to sell them later or give them to a friend and not have to worry about all digital or have my access taken away for one reason or another. So, but like I said, I totally get Game Pass though. Totally get it. Like I totally get the hype behind it and all that.
Yeah. For me, it's all about the budget. It's kind of like why Netflix really blew up once it went to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about budget. It's like a lot of content, and I watch enough Netflix to justify it anyways. But it's all about budget, and it does suck. That's kind of a grander conversation of like, we're starting to see more and more sales reports coming out, and it's to the point that almost consistently, not in every case, but in a lot of cases, we're starting to see digital's outpacing physical, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. And again, this isn't true in every territory, isn't true with every system. It's there's a lot of variance there, but even on Switch, it's growing and growing and growing, which I found interesting because Switch to me I think has the greatest argument to stay physical. But you don't have to download the entire game. Sometimes you have to download chunks of the game depending on which game you buy, but you don't have to download the whole thing, so you get the save space, and you don't have to do installs. Like that's to me a big bonus to going physical on Switch is it's old school gaming. There's no installs. Stick the cartridge in. It might tell you there's an update. Oftentimes you can just skip it and just play right away. It's one of the biggest things that really turned me on to console gaming, because PC used to be always, you got your disc, you stick it in, you install, and now you just download and install. And that's really what PlayStation and Xbox have gone basically full PC. The disc is just a key to unlock your ability to play. You still have to install the game. You still have to download things. The convenience of physical left me with those systems, which is why I think when I owned PlayStation 5 and now with Xbox, I don't own a single physical game for them, because for me, it was always about the convenience, and the convenience is gone because I didn't really share my games. Don't really care about reselling my games. My games are my games. And it's kind of weird because Game Pass, ironically, we share games with Game Pass.
I don't think I've spent any money on Xbox.
No, he just uses my Game Pass on his account, on his Xbox at his house. So like it's really interesting that the convenience factor for physical was always, to me, hey, you just stick this damn thing in and you play. Wasn't necessarily always convenient on the Nintendo Entertainment System, because sometimes you'd fiddle with the cartridge for like 10 minutes before it would blow. You gotta get the alcohol swabs out and clean it, and you better buy the NES cleaner thing and put it in there and push it down a bunch of times. Which is funny, since you don't even need to push it down to work. And that's a whole nother interesting mechanism that was included that you didn't actually have to do. But yeah, it's interesting. And obviously, I know you're obviously a big physical guy. I've known you for a while, OJ. Well aware, physical copies everywhere. It's undeniable. It's in the background of everything you do. Physical copy, physical copy, physical copy.
I mean,
is what we're
just on the two
about.
shelves, there's got to be a couple hundred games right
Well,
there.
even on okay, you see those shelves though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure there's way more.
No, the way he used to have it set up before, he had multiple shelves behind him, like full, almost top to bottom. He's got a lot more than what you see in these shelves.
That's got to be a couple hundred games just sitting there. I'm was sure there was probably way more.
There's probably about 400 games here total, like between. Because I have games behind here that you can't necessarily see.
Multiple rows,
multiple. And then I have a whole other shelf like this that's right over here with even more games on there. And then I have two other shelves that have games. And I got a bunch of games there. So, yeah, I'm big on physical, but, like, I completely get, like, times are changing.
The convenience and why people would, See,
I understand
that's one thing I will say I appreciate about you, OJ, is there's a lot of people that they go at people who go digital and they just get pissed at them because I think they're pissed because they're supporting a future they don't want to see happen.
Right.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. So when all the bad stuff, when it's digital only happens, I don't want to hear any of you guys bitching about it. Excuse my French. Like, I don't want to hear anybody complaining about it because you guys helped this happen. So when you stop getting all your great deals and when it's all digital and they'll jack the price up and they'll stop doing all the cool stuff that you guys are getting right now, don't be upset because this is what you guys wanted. Because anybody that knows economics, right? When you cut off competition, it makes things worse for the consumer. And that's what these companies want. They want competition cut. Sony doesn't want to send digital cards to the retailers because that means, oh, that can affect the prices of the games. They want to do certain things that steers you only towards PSN. They don't want you buying games other places. Okay, it's great now, but wait till later when there's no competition and when they can just do whatever they want. Funny how like Ratchet and Clank, right? Not really getting Ratchet and Clank used to be $20 after like a month or two. Look, dude, the Ratchet, it's like $50-$60 now, right? It's still up there in price because they've essentially stranglehold the competition. You can't have the digital cards out there. Don't buy all digital PlayStations, so they can do stuff like that now. So you're saving now, but in the long run, it's going to be a lot worse. But like I said, I get it. I understand the convenience, but
as
it's
a Nintendo guy, I
it's
don't
for everybody
support
going
price-
forward.
pricing
Like,
anymore. I'm so done playing. What I'm supporting, I always go, yeah, but I play Nintendo games and they don't lower their price. Breath of the Wild still MSRP, like 5 years later. I know it. By the way, just because that's what MSRP is, you can frequently buy it for cheaper than that. But it's kind of funny, like the Mario 10 sale going. Okay, we got the Mario 10 sale and all these games. Okay, all these games have been out for a while, and on any other platform would only be $20 right now, not 40 on sale.
not PS5. Look
Not
at
PS5 though. Yeah, you're right. They've been. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like when you remove the physical aspect of that, Sony can now do that. And I had somebody tell me about this even before Sony before the PS5 or before even things got going. I was like, look, you're not gonna get those same game deals that you got before. You think that Ratchet and Clank is going to be $20 in 3 months? Because like people are like, oh, I'll just buy it later. It'll be $20. I'm like, no, it won't. like, oh, I'll just buy Returnal later. It'll be $30. No, it won't. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's not. It's not going to happen because Sony is removing. They want to remove that physical aspect so you can have less of those copies out in the wild. You know?
Are you dying over there, buddy?
You me?
I think so. I don't know what the heck's going on.
Okay, you
This
good, bro?
crazy tickle in my throat for the last allergies. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Just been inhaling me pretty hard.
yeah.
So-
Everything's been melting
Yeah.
here, so it's coming back around.
Molds and dust and coming back.
Are you trying to say my studio's moldy, you bastard?
No, good God,
God damn it!
no. It's just
Burn
the
the
last
house
couple-
down. Burn the
last
house
couple
down.
of days, my allergies I think have been kicking my ears. So
That's okay, man.
you good?
You good though? You good?
yeah, I think so.
Okay, I can go get you water if you want.
That's why I grabbed another one of these. So
I think Yulia is calling because she's trying to tell me that I'm echoey again.
yeah, I'm not sure what the hell happened.
I don't know what happened either. We literally touched
We
nothing.
didn't touch anything.
Here, let me unplug this. We're not using this right now. Maybe that's the problem.
Nate sounds robotic. That's what the chat says.
Robotic still happening. Honey, I know what you're calling about. You're saying that it's echoing. You don't even know how the stream started. So like,
Whoa, wait, don't be berating her. She's trying to help you.
no, she's trying to. I know. She's acting like I'm not aware of the echo. I'm aware of the echo. It's been a problem the whole time.
Wife, a good girlfriend, good wife. She's trying to make sure that you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. Honey, I've glanced at the chat like 4 times. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good, okay? Trust me, honey, we have massive equipment issues. You can ask the chat. We've been having equipment issues this entire podcast.
She cares, man. That's
I know
good.
she
That's
cares.
a good thing.
I can't
She
fix
cares.
it. That's what I'm trying to tell you, honey. I can't fix it. We are beyond repair at this point. It's over. Is it just my mic, by the way? Hold on, let me turn on mine.
Turn off your mic. Is my mic doing anything? Oh Jesus! Holy Christ! You're dead tonight, dude. Well,
Yeah, man, this man.
it was great
Man,
seeing you guys.
This man sleeping on the couch. This man sleeping on.
I probably won't be here for at all. So okay.
He's sleeping on the couch tonight, man.
Oh no!
No,
It'll be
there's
out in the
the
snowbank.
doghouse.
No, out in the snowbank.
So back.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I literally don't know what's going on.
You didn't
guys.
do anything. It just
No, it was working, and then it just started doing
stopped
it.
working.
I guess I'll go mess around with it a little bit. Eric, why don't you take a couple fan topics here? Chad, if you have any topics you want to bring up, just mention it in the chat, and Eric will bring it up and talk about player essence. I'll try to mess with the audio one more time, but I don't know what the hell I'm going to change at this point.
All right, what do we got, chat? Yeah, last time this happened, the whole stream needed it off and on again for sure. So excited for Kirby. I am.
The Russians are taking over the podcast.
Yeah, Russians are taking over the podcast.
Let's not joke about Russians. I know
Yeah.
Might not be a good time.
Oh boy. Wait, so Yulia's hacking our podcast?
Oh God! Please no.
OJ, you excited for Kirby? Chat wants to know.
Yeah. Kirby looks great. It looks great. It plays great. I'm excited for Kirby. I'm very excited for Kirby. Looking forward to playing it, man.
Yeah, no, I haven't played the demo yet, but I'm that's my plan for either tonight or tomorrow at lunch. So I caught the very, very tail end of Nate playing the demo, so it looked phenomenal. And Nate was messing around with a couple other things, so I'm excited to play it. It definitely looks like it's going to be a whole hell of a lot of fun. I think Nate and I are probably going to possibly stream that day one, Kirby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, day one. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to the game myself. I think one of the cool things, because I'm an old school Kirby fan. I still got my old NES cartridge. I remember first playing Kirby back in the day, thinking that this was like the greatest thing. I remember playing Mario, and then after Mario, it was Kirby, and I was like, "Yo, Kirby's the new thing. I think I'm gonna be playing this forever." And then I went to Superstar on the Super Nintendo, and then there's been GBA Kirby's, and there's been Wii Kirby's. There's been like all sorts of Triple Deluxe, 3DS. So I've played and beat pretty much most of the Kirby games out there. I think there might be a few that I haven't. I think I gave up on Epic Yarn. That game, it's great, but it's just too easy. Just like even for Kirby standards, just too easy. So I think I kind of gave up on that. Maybe I beat it later. I don't even remember. It was a long time ago. But yeah, I've always been a big Kirby fan. So this one looks and plays really cool. The gimmick of the mouthful mode is very well executed and really cool, very unique. So yeah, I'm down for Kirby, man. I can't wait to play it. I think it's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the thing that Nintendo was doing in Japan? They came out with like a mouthful mode Kirby box for the Switch.
I did see that, and it looks
freaking hilarious and awesome. I kind of want.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks cool. Looks cool. Yeah, I think the thing about Kirby, what makes it this one interesting is, once again, like I said, the new gimmick, but the controls are spot on. Like everything just feels great to play. So I mean, like I think Star Allies felt a little bit kind of wonky. Kirby didn't feel fast enough. There was some issues like with how he was jumping. Like it just didn't control to me the way that a Kirby game should control. Like I felt like I had less control over my character compared to like Triple Deluxe or Planet Robobot on the 3DS, which you had great control and Kirby moved fast enough. So to me, that Star Allies just felt a bit too slow, lethargic. But this one feels faster. This one feels more intense. It feels just like a lot more fun to play. So I mean, like I can't wait. I think that's probably the best thing about this new Kirby game is that it does feel very. The controls feel very snappy. Like even though it's 30 frames, right? But the controls feel way more responsive and snappy than like, I hate to bring Elden Ring in here, but just the comparison, a game that runs at a faster frame rate, right? So
I'll get you.
So yeah, I mean that's the thing for me, man. It just feels great to play. So I'm excited. I'm excited to pick it up. It's coming out in a few weeks now, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. Man, any other topics, chat, we can get into? Ooh, that would be interesting. Do you think we get a Mario trailer movie or movie trailer tomorrow for Mario Day?
No.
No. That'd be awesome.
But
Yeah, that's why it's not happening.
yeah, too convenient,
Yeah, just
too obvious of a time.
Yeah.
When will Nintendo actually do the obvious?
Yeah, almost never.
Right.
They'll release the new Mario trailer like on like a Sunday morning Japanese time. Everybody's asleep or something like that or whatever during the day. It'll be some type of weird, awkward time or randomly at a direct where Chris Pratt is, voicing everything. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be some random Tuesday where they just here's your trailer. You're like,
Yeah.
what? Why? I don't
Yeah.
know. Just because.
Just because, yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting anything figured out over there, Nate? Nope. Cool.
Nope.
And so okay, another one question. N64 versus GameCube.
Oh,
Which
here we
one's
go.
more
This
your
is.
style?
We all know it's the GameCube. The people here, they want chaos here. That's the
You
reason
want
why. 'Cause
chaos?
this has been
Okay.
it's been a
for me, it was
long-running
the 64,
debate.
but
It's been a debate, like a long-running debate on the Spawncast and on other places like MVGs. We've talked about it. Like, what's better, N64 or GameCube? And it's clear the choice is GameCube. So that's all I'll say.
yeah. And you think you fixed it?
Maybe.
Okay, hopefully. But I don't know. To me, it was. I grew up. I didn't have a GameCube, so for me, it's the 64. Just because of I owned it, so I played a absolute crap ton of it. So that's why for me it's the 64. But I mean I get it. I liked the GameCube. I played a lot at Nate's house, but for me it was my favorite console until the Switch came out. So pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that. It's a nostalgic system.
No, for sure. Both of them are.
It's like a super nostalgic system. It's like, this is where 3D gaming really took off. The analog stick. There was so many innovations, like really big on like 4-player multiplayer. I mean, although we had that in the NES and games before that, but like it was built in, right? You didn't have to buy a separate adapter or anything. So I can definitely see why people love the N64. But I will say this. This is what I'll say this. Nobody would ever want Nintendo to repeat the game output of the N64 ever again.
No, for sure. No, I get you. I mean, it did start, your good 3Ds, kind of more open worlds type of thing. It kind of started that trend a little bit. And then, like Mario 64. And so, that was kind of one nice thing about it too. So,
yeah. Yeah, innovation-wise, the N64 is definitely more innovative than the game. Like, industry changing, yeah, N64. Like, Z targeting with Zelda Ocarina of Time. I mean, that's still the modern basis for like all 3D action games, right? Is Z targeting. Before then, like, remember, did you ever play Tomb Raider on the PS1?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, that game like controls like terrible.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And then Ocarina of Time came out. I was like, this is exactly how this is supposed to control. This is exactly how this is supposed to play. So I completely get the N64 stuff. I just think that the GameCube was such a system that just did the games, man. Like it just had an insane amount. Metroid Prime. How about Metroid Prime? Oh man, Fire Emblem, Metroid Prime, Pikmin. Chibi Robo. It was just on top of all the classics like the Mario. You had the Strikers. You had all different type of stuff, man. It was just
for sure.
just nuts. It went ham. But yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah, that's the third party. The third party support too. Some people in the chat were like, let's see here, Metal Gear Solid, Baten Kaitos, which that's not third kind of, but Baten Kaitos. Mario Kart Double Dash. I mean, it just goes on and on. It was
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love them both for sure.
Yeah, they're both really good.
Yeah. I'm not gonna hate anybody for loving the GameCube more. Obviously.
Yeah, it's more of a joke than an actual
I wasn't up on it, so I just saw it in chat and I thought it was a good question to throw out there for the heck of it. So.
Yeah, it's more of a joke more so than anything.
Gotcha. Another one I'm seeing here. Do you think Metroid Prime 4 is still coming, or is it an urban legend?
Oh no, it's coming.
It's coming. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It'd be weird. It'd be nice to see an update of some sort, but
you'll get it.
Yeah. mean, not that I play
okay.
much for Metroid, but you know, it is what it is. It'd still be nice to see an update on it.
Very interesting.
Still nothing over there.
I don't understand. Like, we sound fine to OJ, don't we?
We sound fine to you, right, OJ?
What's up?
Do we sound okay to you? There's no echo. Or...
You do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we just sound weird to the chat. Fantastic.
Then we got to Mr. Roboto.
Yeah.
Well, chat, how's my voice?
You sound clear.
No echo anymore. Oh, okay. No echo now. Cool. I don't know. Hooray.
So,
Now that I'm sitting down, there's echo again, isn't
Oh,
it?
probably. Yeah.
OJ sounded great the whole time. This is on our end. It's how our mix is working. I don't.
Maybe we need to take and move this back.
It's not about how you guys. It's not about being able to hear us. I was in the other room listening to it on my phone, and I heard the echo. I know what you guys are talking about. And I changed some settings, and then the type of echo changed, and I don't really know where the echo is coming from. Basically, what happened, guys, is I updated the software for our audio interface today because I needed to use it the way we wanted, and ever since then, it just hasn't worked. And I almost feel like I just need to run this without drivers, and it works better.
Nice.
Which is not the way it's supposed to be. I don't know. Like you said, it sounds fine now, and guess what? We did nothing, and then it started
Literally
echoing
changed
again.
nothing. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
cool. Well, I'm glad that we're somewhat back to normal right at the end of the
Right.
right at the end of the podcast. You're an audio engineer, completely understand the frustration with interfaces. Yeah, I mean that's. And OJ knows too. He's dealt with a lot of stuff. Like this is obviously, and I have a more complicated setup than most, and we're using new equipment compared to before. But yeah, this is how it goes, guys. Yeah, you got to kind of bear and grit with it. Eventually, it'll all be good, and it'll just never just work, but it'll work better than it is now, or at least maybe it'll work as good as it is now. I don't know. Let's just hope. Do you guys have any more questions? I want to take at least one topic since I didn't get to take any.
Right.
Not that you guys need to hear me talk, right? I talk enough on my channel. You guys have any topics? We'll take at least one more. And I appreciate you, OJ, for sticking through all the issues today.
No problem, man.
Um,
I've been grinding triangle strategy. I got hella timber and fiber right now, so it's all good.
There it is. The state of play.
Oh yeah, State of Play today. That was great. I streamed it. It was great.
Yeah, I streamed it too. Yeah. And it's funny, guys,
I didn't see.
I streamed the state of play, and it was great, and the audio worked wonderfully.
Yeah.
Okay, good. What'd you think about it, Nate?
So I gave it a B when people were asking for like grades and stuff. I thought it was solid. There wasn't like anything I hated. It wasn't like, okay, this game sucks, or okay, this game sucks. Like, you know, I remember like when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection was announced, I'm like, oh, that's coming to Switch, right? It's got to come to Switch. Of course, we found out later it's coming to everything. Because it's like, how can you not have like the games that were on all the Nintendo platforms not come to a Nintendo platform? But that obviously that was just, you know, a nice little announcement. But everything they showed, like, I'm really looking forward to Forspoken, and I thought that obviously showed really, really well again, even though it's been delayed till October. But everything they showed, like Square Enix, I kind of made a comment towards the end. I'm like, it's kind of felt like the Square Enix Direct with like a few other games injected in. Because it was like Square Enix game after Square Enix game after Square Enix game, then ending with 2 Square Enix games. But I didn't have a problem with that because Square Enix, I don't know what... it just feels like they're back in the swing of things. They're just like... Everything they make is really damn good at this juncture. I'm not really disappointed with any game they put out. And I'm sure there's probably some obscure game that I'm not thinking about or in some genre I don't pay attention to. But at least RPG-wise and stuff like that. Like everything they showed, like even that one, I assume it was an indie game. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad assumption of mine. Where it was kind of like the side-scrolling black and white art style. That game I thought even looked incredible. Like,
yeah.
And the only reason I didn't give it a higher score than a B is because I just said, you know, I didn't have that jaw drop moment. I didn't have like, okay. That took me by surprise. Or like that made me get super, super hyped. It was all, hey, all these games look really damn good. And I'm okay with that. And I went into it with no expectations because I've kind of not been paying attention since I sold the PlayStation 5 to what's happening at Sony besides like the state of play is like the only thing. because I'll live stream and react to them. It's like, oh yeah, I knew about a bunch of the big games, but I also knew a lot of them aren't this year, right? Like people, oh, we didn't see Spider-Man 2. Well, it's not till next year. Why would we see that now? That just doesn't even.
Well, they told us that it's going to be focused on Japanese games,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so like, I can see what if you're upset you didn't get more Final Fantasy 7 stuff, or didn't get more, like you didn't see Final Fantasy 16 or something. Like I can see maybe, but I don't know. Like that company brought so many games to it. It's like I don't know how you can be upset that they didn't bring certain ones there. To me, it's kind of like getting upset like at a Nintendo Direct because there wasn't Breath of the Wild 2 there, even though I know the game is coming. Like, okay, there's other games to talk about. I already know about that game. So I don't know. I thought it was solid. Like, as like literally an outsider right now, thanks to my sledgehammer ways. Yeah, like I actually thought it was really, really solid, and I could see myself legitimately playing any of those games and having a good time. And that's really what I care about. Like the only game I really wasn't into that my chat was getting really hyped about was the Jojo fighting game.
Yes.
That
game's really good.
This is the anime I was told.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
so like,
a
that's
super
probably why I really
popular
wasn't
anime.
that hyped, because I'm like, I don't watch JoJo, so I don't know anything.
Oh, you gotta watch JoJo, man.
I probably would enjoy it. Like, there's not really a specific point in my life where I just stopped enjoying anime. I just stopped watching for some reason. I don't know why.
No, I can understand that. I mean, obviously you got kids, you got a channel, but dude, JoJo's so good.
Yeah, is it? Is it?
Oh,
well, can you just describe the show to me without spoiling everything in case I decide to look
Yeah,
at it?
sure. I'll be real quick too. The show vibe with JoJo is ridiculous. Like, it's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, obviously for a reason. It's freaking weird, but it's funny. Like, it's weird and it's funny and it's like flamboyant. Like they strike all these poses after they're like talking or after they beat somebody. They have all these weird powers. Like, they have these things called stands where it's essentially like, you never seen like Persona, right? You know,
Sure,
Persona, right? Yeah, it's like basically personas, right? So they have these different personas that have different abilities. And like the crazy thing with this is that like it's such a weird anime, but like a lot of people end up dying. Like a lot of like the characters just end up dying in it. So like you never know unless you spoil it for yourself, but you never know who's going to survive.
So don't get
and you don't know who's going to
Got
die.
it.
So that's essentially what JoJo's about. I mean, there's more to it. I mean, there's a whole connected storyline. Think of it, it's also like Castlevania. Like, you have like this Dracula, you have like this vampire that's like eternal. Then you have like this family, the Joestars, that always fight this guy over generations, like 100 years or whatever. So it's awesome in that way too. It's like dead ass like Castlevania, man.
Man, it sounds like I gotta check it out because like
No,
some of my favorite animes are One Piece, but I stopped watching it a while ago because there's infinite amount of episodes.
So many
Amount of episodes. I watched like, I don't know,
Great
600 or something,
but...
and then I just.
Yeah, the cool thing about JoJo is that they have chapters, right? Or they have like seasons, and that character's arc ends. Like they have had characters move over from one to another, but it usually stars a new Joestar, a new person in the family, and they're not ever like super long. There was part 3, which Jotaro's arc, that's the main character, like the guy that's on the cover, like Jotaro, he's like the main person, and like his arc lasted 2. He's in other ones, but his main arc lasted like 2 separate seasons of like 30 something episodes or whatever. But for the most part, they're like 40 episodes or even like less. Like the original season is like, you can watch it abridged or whatever, like where they connect everything. It's like 9 episodes, where they just combine everything together. So it's cool, but the thing about the game, why it's exciting, is that the game is actually really good. Check this out, Nate. That game sold over 500,000 copies in Japan as a fighting game on the PlayStation 3. Like, it was big, but then it got rocked by it sold over 500,000 copies in 1 week. But the problem was that there was so many microtransactions that Japanese gamers went ballistic on it, because like it was just intrusive microtransactions, and then that's what destroyed the game long term. But the game is super fun. It's unbalanced, it's kind of broken, but why fans are happy about this is because people still play this game to this day, and now you're going to be able to play because it's a good fighting game. Think Street Fighter, think Tekken, think quality fighting game. Don't think like My Heroes One Justice or weird anime fighter. Think actual high quality fighting game.
And I was like, how is this any different than the other anime fighters I've seen?
Yeah. think Dragon Ball Fighters, not the same style, but think that type of quality, right? It's
Okay, yeah,
it's
that
that
was
type of
solid.
quality.
That was a solid game.
Yeah. It's not a throwaway fighting game. It's not like, oh, it's just like, like I
feel
said,
like
they
I'm
just
gonna
do
have
it just to
go
get it
watch
out.
Yeah. Because like the fact that you said like there's like arcs per season and then like the character usually dies or whatever, that's cool. Because like one reason, like one of my favorite anime of all time is Fooly Cooly, and I love that it was just like it's a single arc and then it just ends, and I like that. Plus that anime is just crazy. FLC is just crazy. Absolutely.
You don't know which. I didn't ruin what characters die. You don't know who's gonna die.
No. You didn't mention any specific characters besides like the main guy on the cover goes like 2 seasons. Okay, cool. I'll figure it out when I watch. God dang it, honey! I'm sorry if you come home and I'm watching a bunch of anime. I hope you're ready. She used to watch it. She used to watch God, what was the one? Sailor Moon. She was in the Sailor Moon. When
Sailor Moon. Okay. Yeah.
I'm a big Full Metal Alchemist and a Ruby fan, so can't wait for the new season of Ruby to come out.
Nice. Yeah. So I stopped watching quite a while ago. I'm not really. Again, I don't really have a specific thing that happened. I mean, maybe college happened. I don't know, something. I don't know. Life got busy at one point. The funny thing is like I still watch all these other shows, so I don't really. I don't know. Maybe there was a stigma with a crowd I was hanging out with at one point that was like, "Oh, you watch anime? You watch anime? You weirdo, and you just got that hentai shit on." I'm like, no. I mean, that's like a subset genre that's totally different. Let's not get into that, please. Cool. But sure. That's right. If you watch anime, it's all hentai. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, maybe you should get off Pornhub when you're looking up anime. Sorry. Every time that I heard someone just boil down anime to that, I'm like, man, did you not even hear of Adult Swim when you were younger? Like, dude, they had anime Adult Swim all the time. They probably still do to this day. Oh, man. All right, well, I think that's the echo came back, so I think this is probably a good time to end. And you guys saw me. I didn't touch anything. I didn't do anything. It just happened, which is a perfect time to end it because I'm already frustrated. Sorry about the audio issues to everybody. And we'll probably still sound fine in the OJ, which is probably the craziest thing is this is just on our end, and I don't know what's happening.
Right.
It's very frustrating. Whatever. Perfect. Problem to figure out for the next show next week, I hope. I swear if I have to spend more money, I'm just going to... Eric, if I'm out alive next week, because I know you're not going to be here for the podcast next week, so if like you come back in 2 weeks and the show's dead and everything's dead and my house is locked up and nobody lives here anymore, I apologize because I might have just jumped off a cliff and then my family all just moved away because Fair enough. Because I'm so frustrated with the amount of money spent on all this stuff. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Okay, Yulia just keeps saying, unplug the Stream Deck. Unplug the Stream Deck. I literally did not touch the Stream Deck.
Right.
But if it'll make you feel better, honey, it's unplugged. Did the echo go away? If that's what fixed the echo and it was the Stream Deck that's completely unrelated to my audio interface, that would be very interesting. But thank you, OJ, for coming on. Hopefully we can have you on a future episode where the audio isn't so messed up. And hopefully it doesn't take another 1,400 days.
Absolutely, man. It was fun it was cool being here.
Okay. There's a lot that's happened over these years, you know.
Anything you got coming up, OJ, that you want to tease?
Yeah.
You know what? Nothing right now. Just look out on the channel. New videos up in the morning, streams pretty much every single day. So if you want to come hang out and talk about some games and yell at stuff, I'm there on Player Essence, so it's right here on YouTube. So yeah, thanks for having me on. Chat was awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
All right. All right, well, catch you guys. You guys can go subscribe to OJ and all this stuff. His links are all down in the description. I know the @ isn't working right now because we had to restart the stream, but there's still a link down there to subscribe. So go check out his content, especially if you really like RPGs. I think he's like one of the best RPG YouTubers out there. Like literally, when I want news about RPGs that I'm not covering, you just go there. He's talking about everything, especially if it's coming to Switch. Just forget about it. Forget about it. He's like an expert at this point. It's insane.
Yeah.
When he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to play everything," yeah, because he's playing RPGs, guys.
Right.
He's playing RPGs. Let's be real. He can't play everything when you're playing RPGs. Like one of those can consume your life for quite some time.
You just gotta hone in and focus in on what you're good at sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys had a good time, and we'll catch you guys next week. And this is going to be a nightmare for me to audio edit for the
Get right.
later. Oh my god.
There, guys.
Peace out, everyone. As I can't end the stream. This is what happens when I'm trying to fix audio issues. Now I can't even hit end.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
What a stream.
We'll get there. We'll get there. It's just 10 clicks away.
Oh man, what a
Still
stream, dude.
2 clicks away.
Hey, there's the end stream button.
2 more clicks. And now.